our culture is competitive, man.
Right.
It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It just don't make sense.
First of all, that vote is fake as f. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings.
Cowboy Carter. Beyonce.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones.
There are horrible things that happen every day, whether it be in the industry or not, mentally, emotionally, financially.
When you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what I went through with Joe.
For years,
50 Cent and Eminem are finally linking up, and they're coming for Jay-Z and Beyoncé hard.
Look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think that they were saying the NFL had some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like what is the issue? You start looking at that's not mine, that's theirs. They harbor it, right? But when you look at M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself, like that. I'm a Shady aftermath. You see what I'm saying? Like there's so much G Unit Records.
Right.
They forget that I'm M and Dre's artist.
They're putting the Carters on blast for everything from stealing from black creatives to allegedly buying their way to the top and crushing anyone who dares to step in their path. 50's been loud about it. He says Jay is still playing dirty behind the scenes, messing with his business moves.
Things like that. This is why I was saying I knew what old boy was doing, right? With the Super Bowl, because he was doing like,
go ahead.
He was doing some wild because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me, and I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Right? Makes no sense.
So I was going to get to that later, but since we're here now. And when he says "oh boy" for the audience that don't, talking about Jay-Z, this was discussed before. Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just
threatened. Possibly.
Not even threatened. I think it's just when you take the competition from like our culture is competitive, man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It just don't make sense. Like, what are we competing for? What's the goal? Like this even like a lot of even a lot of the competitive stuff, or what we would call it beef, right? It changed. That terminology changed when it's Biggie and Tupac, because we start saying the things that people would say that cause beef in the environment. When before that they called it babbling in our culture. Right. Because that's what it is until it turns into some street shit. So when you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what I went through with Joe.
On top.
Meanwhile, Eminem's been dropping cryptic bars, warning everyone about how the industry's run by powerful figures pulling strings in the shadows. And guess who's caught in the middle? Beyonce. She's getting slammed with accusations of swiping songwriting credits and reportedly blackballing other women in the game. Aaliyah, Maya, Carrie Hilson. The list is wild, but it doesn't stop there. Jay and Bey's shady friendship with Diddy is under fire again, even though Jay may have dodged that lawsuit from Jane Doe.
Andre Young, thank you, sir. All the doors that you opened, showed us that we can be rock stars, seeing you on the Rolling Stone. Obviously, there's Run DMC with the Leathers and the Aerosmith. But when you came out west, you took it to a whole new level. Some of you don't belong in the category. Oh, no, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
The alleged victims now hinting that she got pressured to switch up her story after some sketchy people came knocking on her door. That part alone has people raising their eyebrows big time. So now fans are asking, are Jay and Bey really royalty, or have they just mastered the game of smoke and mirrors?
You have a few Grammys, but you feel like you had to sell your soul to get them. And you didn't know if you wanted it for the recognition or the trophies, but then what's the difference? You know, and that Grammys pretty much suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows. And
Which they do. They do it every year, yeah. And I'm just tired of seeing it. And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win Album of the Year, which used to be a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal now.
And what do 50 and M really know about the bodies buried behind the fame? For years, the Carters ruled the industry like kings and queens, untouchable, with an army of stans ready to attack anyone who dared question them. But now the cracks are showing and more insiders are speaking out. Leading that charge, none other than 50 and Slim Shady.
I watched 50, same. 50 did not win Best New Artist at the Grammys.
There was nothing bigger than 50.
Nothing bigger, and nobody since maybe like Snoop came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw someone's first album and the wave happen like he had. And then he doesn't get it. And then I get up there another year, and what was it, the Eminem show? And it was like, whatever. I'm fine if I lose to Kanye or someone that I'm like, okay, I respect that. I know who that is, and Kanye has a huge following and he's made a massive impact on music. Fine, I'm good with that. But don't get us all here to use your selling point for your show and stiff everybody every single time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to here again. Please do not ask me. My answer is no for 100 million years. Never again will I go to the Grammy.
Let's talk 50 first. He's back at it saying Jay-Z is straight up insecure and petty. And this ain't just talk, he's bringing receipts. Remember the 2023 Super Bowl mess? 50 says Jay tried to block him from performing using his NFL Connects. But the plan backfired when M stepped in and said, no 50, then no me. Now that's loyalty. In a wild sit down on Talk with Flea.
Did you ever consider, joining a board and maybe you have a vote in it?
First of all, that vote is fake. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings. This got critical acclaim, but it sold 2 records. It ain't about always what you sell. I get that, Vanilla Ice, I understand. You know what I'm saying? But there comes a point where when an overwhelming something comes along that has this wave and impact on music, and you give it to Lada Dottie. Who? Lada Dottie. It's only Lada Dottie.
50 Cent didn't hold back. He dragged Jay-Z once again, accusing him of playing dirty behind the scenes. According to 50, Jay isn't just moving shady in the music biz, he's still messing with his business deals out of straight up spite. And here's the kicker, 50 even said Jay's already proven everything he needs to, but still can't stop himself from sabotaging him.
Is when he started to receive the 16 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. They don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them the things they would. Later, to me, I didn't care about trophies. I said, I'll get the checks.
Now things are getting even messier. because 50 and Eminem are linking up to call out the Carters over alleged Grammy rigging. 50 flat out accused Jay of using his marriage to Beyonce as leverage to score awards, and let's not forget, M's been calling the Grammys corrupt for years.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those fucking trophies, trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, listen, if you look at his career,
This guy. You're gonna let him say that?
Jay was getting Grammys.
he had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he didn't show up.
No, he has like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
Hold on. You're not wrong. At the same time.
After that, he's like drinking his pictures with him. It's the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades.
Because he's no
marriage.
longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got. Oh, wow. So that's the deal.
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
He's been shouting that it's all pay to play. Yeah, Beyonce may have finally snatched Album of the Year with Cowboy Carter this year, but a whole lot of folks ain't buying it. Some claim Jay pulled major strings, especially since just last year, he stormed the stage at the Grammys to scold the Recording Academy for snubbing Beyonce over and over.
Beyonce and Jay.
But fans weren't feeling that speech. It rubbed people the wrong way. Jay-Z was accepting an award from the Grammys while dragging them at the same time. People were like, if you really don't care about their validation, then why even show up? It all seemed super hypocritical. That weird moment just added more heat to the claims that the Carters have been buying, bullying, and blackmailing their way to the top for years.
Easy.
And insiders keep spilling the same tea, saying the Grammys ain't about talent. It's all about politics. Eminem's been screaming it from the rooftops. He called the whole thing a straight up scam and even said he'd never attend again. But M also made it clear he's not salty about losing. He just wants real music to win.
Tell everybody about Big L.
Cool, but if it's rigged, he's not having it. What really ticks Eminem off is how the Grammys use him for clout. They hype him up like he's got a real shot at winning.
Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again. Okay.
But that
just to reel in viewers and then shut him out when it's time to hand out the trophies. Total bait and switch when someone asked him if he'd ever consider going back.
The game is bullshit, man. The game is bullshit. If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I called The Industry. And that pretty much explains, it was saying what it's about, the industry. Man, it's not the same. The industry, it's not a f***ing game. The industry, real is dying to get in the industry just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that, but I'm going to dress like this and talk with the gap, the industry.
Maybe if he joined the voting committee, he didn't even hesitate. He said it wouldn't matter because the whole thing's rigged. According to M, the votes are pointless. It's all just smoke and mirrors. And 50, he's not letting the Recording Academy off the hook either. He straight up said Jay-Z's Grammy wins got nothing to do with talent and everything to do with Beyonce. 50 claims the Academy only gives them awards to make sure Jay and Bey show up and boost ratings. According to him, as long as Jay and B walk that carpet, they're cashing in on the views.
First meeting I ever had.
He didn't just leave it there. On the Flagrant podcast, he doubled down hard, saying Jay's entire Grammy streak is tied to his marriage. He even called their whole relationship a contract, like it's more about power moves than love.
I don't think one man can destroy another man's life. It's ultimately in your own decisions. You know, I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, you know, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. Like I used to have questions like, why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top of me. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like I was always close. And I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top of me. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe. But
that claim had people shook. Is this just business between music's so-called power couple? And 50 ain't the only one throwing accusations.
Where you been, A. Marie?
I've been out in the universe somewhere.
Talk about your career. Everybody always says A. Marie should have been a superstar. Because she's pretty, she could dance, she could sing. What happened? What do you think?
Know what it is? It's timing. Like everything is timing. Like I'm a big believer in timing. And then
industry insiders have whispered for years that Jay and Beyonce allegedly held back rising stars just to protect their own spotlight.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones. And you know what I mean? You don't feel like you have a choice. I really didn't feel like I had a choice. It was do this or this.
And some say they blocked artists from getting too big, especially the ones who showed real potential to outshine them.
How did you stay so guarded within your career?
This is what I did. I said, no, I'm good, thank you. No, thank you. Okay, so sometimes that doesn't translate as far as what you are allowed to have, what you have access to. You will be blackballed. You will be talked about. You will be on. You will be rumored about. But you have to stand strong on what you don't care for. It's not that serious to me, if I have to sell my soul. I understand that I might have sacrificed something in the physical world, but the spiritual world is not worth it. You're okay. You don't need to do anything. What you need to do is protect every part of your life, your spirit especially, because everything else is connected to that. There are some people, not everyone, that have huge egos, and awful mindsets towards men, towards women, towards people. And it's very difficult to be around. It's just very difficult. And the way they define success is not your idea of success.
Then there's Beyonce's ex-bodyguard, Uncle Ron. Right before he passed from pneumonia, he made headlines claiming he had evidence that Jay and Bey sabotaged careers and destroyed lives just to climb the ladder. That got folks looking at the Carters real funny. And we can't forget Jaguar Wright, Jay-Z's former backup singer and one of his loudest critics. She said time and time again that people around Jay, like Harlem legend Big L, either mysteriously passed or got pushed out the game, all so Jay could rise higher. Suspicious? You tell me. Let's talk about Big L for a sec. Back in the early 90s, Big L was blazing through Harlem's underground hip-hop scene, dropping crazy freestyles and making a name for himself fast. He signed with Columbia Records and had a solid debut, but after they let him go, he went independent and launched his own label. That's when Dame Dash, co-founder of Rockefeller, started paying attention. But just as Big L's career was about to explode, he was gunned down in a drive-by shooting on February 15th, 1999, right in Harlem. To this day, the case is still unsolved, but Jaguar Wright, she ain't buying the silence. She's hinted hard that Jay-Z might have had a hand in what went down. "See how good I keep secrets, Sean," she said. That line sent chills. Now slide over to DMX, one of the few who wasn't scared to go toe-to-toe with Jay-Z. Along with 50 Cent, DMX straight up called Jay out for being bitter and jealous. When Jay became president of Def Jam in 2004, DMX had already been carrying the label, dropping 5 #1 albums in a row from 98 to 03. But when it came time for his 6th album, Year of the Dog, again, DMX claimed Jay intentionally held it back so he could clear space for his own big comeback, Petty Moves. Then there's the 2005 track, The Industry, where DMX exposed the music game's darkest secrets. And scary part is, most of what he warned about is still going on today. Even Irv Gotti, before he passed, claimed Jay was jealous of DMX from the jump. He said Jay and his mentor Leo Cohen used to laugh at X behind closed doors, thinking he'd never pop off. They got proven so wrong. And Beanie Siegel, same story. He felt like there were all kinds of backroom politics keeping him from blowing up. Jay would drop his albums at the exact same time as Beanie's, basically cutting into his shine and capping his sales on purpose. Coincidence or calculated? Beanie Siegel admitted he messed up here and there, especially with his legal troubles. But he made it clear that Jay-Z's shady moves weren't just bad timing, they were intentional. Every setback, calculated. And don't think Beyonce is just a passive player in all this either. Fans love to act like she's just being controlled by Jay, but come on. She wouldn't ride with him all these years if they didn't share the same cutthroat mentality. Allegedly, both of them have a habit of taking down anyone they see as a threat. Take this. When Beyonce left Destiny's Child and started linking with Jay, it's rumored Jay snatched producer Rich Harrison away from singer Amiri. Why? Because Amiri was heating up and being called a real threat to Beyonce. And real ones know Amiri's track One Thing sounded a lot like the blueprint for Crazy in Love. Then there's Carrie Hilson. She had a full-blown fallout with Beyonce after her own producers allegedly set her up, tricking her into recording a diss track aimed at Beyonce to tank her image. Carrie denied it at first, but then fans caught her shading Bey again when she refused to hold up a magazine with Beyonce and Jay-Z on the cover. That tiny moment led to massive backlash. Beyonce's fan base went wild, attacking Carrie online and even in the streets. But the twist? Whispers started swirling that Beyonce herself was orchestrating the whole thing. Some insiders claimed she got Carrie's own team to set her up, getting her to record that diss just so they could destroy her career, while Beyonce stood back playing innocent. Carrie finally opened up about it in a 2020 interview. She said she felt forced into putting that track out and started getting hit with serious threats. She said, "You feel like you have to listen, and when you buck, they buck harder. I really didn't feel like I had a choice. It was do this or this." That's deep. And let's not forget Keyless, who came straight at Beyonce, accusing her of stealing when Bey sampled her hit Milkshake without asking for permission or giving any credit. One by one, these artists got pushed out the way and the Carters kept climbing. Keyless had no clue Beyonce was sampling her track. She found out the same way the rest of the world did, through social media. She said she was mind blown by the disrespect and lack of basic courtesy. "I heard about this the same way everyone else did," Kellis wrote. "Nothing is ever as it seems. Some of the people in this business have no soul or integrity, and they have everyone fooled." That's cold. Later, Kellis took to Instagram to explain why it hurt so bad. She said, "Not only are we black female artists in an industry where there's not that many of us, we've met, we know each other, we have mutual friends." She added, "It's not that hard to contact me. It's just common decency, straight facts." But instead of apologizing, Beyonce just quietly pulled the Milkshake sample from the track and never said a word about it. No public response, no explanation, just silence. That move only made people side-eye the situation even harder. And then there's Mia, who was allegedly blackballed after she turned down Jay-Z's advances. She's hinted before that powerful people in the industry use that power in dangerous ways, especially toward younger artists who are just trying to succeed, without even realizing the price they're being asked to pay. When Mia was asked how she stayed away from that toxic energy, she didn't sugarcoat it. She said, "I just said no and walked away." But she also admitted that saying no came with a cost. She explained, "Sometimes that doesn't translate. You get blackballed, talked about, rumored about, but you have to stand strong." And she kept it real. "It's not that serious to me," Mia said. "If I have to sell my soul, I understand I might have sacrificed something in the physical world, but the spiritual world not worth it. She told young artists to protect themselves, especially their spirit, because everything else connects to that. These stories are stacking up and they're starting to show a pattern. One where silence, sabotage, and shady power plays seem to lurk right beneath the glam and glitz. Some folks in the industry, not all but some, carry massive egos and twisted views on men, women, and power. Being around that kind of energy, it's toxic. Their version of success ain't what most of us would ever call success. It's built on fear, control, and silence. Now, after hearing all this, one thing's clear. A lot of artists out there believe Jay-Z and Beyoncé may have sabotaged their careers to stay on top. And this wasn't even the full list. So what do you think? With big names like 50 Cent and Eminem calling them out, is there any truth to these wild claims? Or is it just industry drama and bitter feelings? And be real, are there other artists you think got quietly blackballed by the Carters that nobody's talking about? Let us know in the comments. Don't hold back, and make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Because the next video, it's gonna go even deeper. See you there.